A guy who is 2 hours late, am I exaggerating? I'm 27 and met a 32-year-old guy on Tinder about 2 weeks ago, and 3 out of the 4 dates we had gone on, he has been late. Not 15 to 20 minutes late, but over an hour late. He always has an excuse that seems important, so I let it slide. Today, however, he was going to introduce me to some friends, so he was planning a small get-together at his house. He told me that his friends would be coming over more in the afternoon, but that he would come to pick me up at 4 p.m. I am ready at 15:50. 4 p.m. comes and no sign of him. I send him a message at 16:30 asking him how everything is going. And he tells me he is finishing eating and has to finish cleaning up and to give him 30 minutes to be ready. I even asked him if he wants help cleaning up, and he said a friend is helping him, so to relax. An hour goes by and nothing. So I text him, looks like you have a lot to do, no pressure, I'm going shopping. She immediately replies with she's almost done and needs to shower, so if I go shopping when she picks me up. I told her we would see next week. She then started saying she was cleaning up for the party, that the party wasn't at any particular time, etc., etc. I told him it's not the first time I've had to wait that long, and if he had told me from the beginning that 6 p.m. or some other time would be fine. He repeated the same thing and I stopped responding. Am I exaggerating? 2 hours of waiting. In 3 other appointments I waited more than an hour. I really liked him because we are very similar in many ways, but I hate people who make me wait. I understand 15 to 20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes, but more than an hour? This time too? Should I try to salvage this or let it go? It seemed perfect in every other way, sad face. I'm not sure what to do. TLDR, the guy is always late. Today he made me wait 2 hours, so I left. I'm not sure if I want to leave things like this. Comments. 1. He doesn't value your time, he's not worth it. Op, so true. Not only the 2 hours of waiting, but me getting snacks for the party, getting dressed, getting my makeup done. Not at all. 2. Even just reading this post made me incredibly angry. He doesn't even try to make a good impression, and they are just starting to date. I wouldn't see him again. He doesn't care about your time at all. 3. This is him on his best behavior. He is hours late and unapologetic about it. If you're okay with this being on your best behavior, keep dating him. If you're okay with the unpunctuality and disregard for your time getting worse, keep dating him. If you're okay with him constantly standing you up in the future or not being able to do the things you want to do because you're too busy waiting for him, then keep dating him. This will get worse once he gets comfortable with you and feels that you are emotionally attached. Is this the future you want? 4. Yes. I can't handle people like this. It's not malicious or intentionally disrespectful, are a person who can't be punctual. I can't tolerate it. Especially with a partner. 5. He doesn't respect you or your time. As another commenter mentioned, he's most likely juggling other dates because those excuses are super weak. I would stop texting him or responding to him and ghost him. He doesn't deserve more than that, in my opinion. You deserve someone who actually makes an effort, and you don't have to sit around wondering if he likes you. 6. This behavior is just disrespectful. As if your time is worthless. You could do so much in this time, but since you have to wait for Her Majesty to be ready, you can't do anything. I always think how much I could earn if I worked instead of wasting my time. If he wants to pay you for those wasted hours? For example, if you make $40 an hour and he lets you wait 2 hours, he should pay you $80 for lost time. 7. It doesn't really change the outcome, but this reminds me of a roommate I had in college. He was always doing this, but it wasn't a test and he wasn't being disrespectful, it was OCD. He had to make sure everything was clean and perfect before he could leave the apartment. So I was chronically late for almost everything. I took it as disrespect for a long time, until I realized I was essentially trapped. I'm not saying that's what it is, but keep in mind that if it is, it most likely won't change anytime soon, if ever. Second story. How do you feel when your boyfriend asks if you will move to another state with him but also asks you to get your own place? I'm 23 years old, and before my boyfriend of 24 years moved to Texas, he asked me if I'm willing to move to Texas after I graduate in December. That actually made me a little hesitant because we've only been dating a little over a year. It's a big move, but after doing LDR for a while, I feel like I'm the type of person who needs my SO next door or close to me at least. Florida, where I am now, and Texas is too far away. But recently, when we talked about whether it would benefit my career if I moved to Texas or not, he said he can't help me make the decision. Which is fair for him to say, so I wasn't too worried about it. But when he said, regardless, you'd have to find your own place because we're not married yet. He means that because he just got his own place. Is it just me or did that come across weird? Please, I need some advice. I already posted about this in another Reddit group, but I need more people's opinions on this. Thanks. Edit, I've realized that I have to do what's best for me. So I'm not even going to consider moving now. Comment. 1. Personally, I wouldn't move if you have been together for a short time. It's a big commitment to move to another state and live apart. That's what I was thinking too. 2. I mean, if he offered to get a place with you and asked you to move out, that would be one thing. But to uproot your life and move out and also live alone? When you have no one else there? Nah. 3. She doesn't want to cohabit. She is hesitant to uproot her life and also doesn't want to do long distance. Maybe this relationship has run its course. Point 4. Well, it's much more complicated than not wanting to uproot my life. I'm an international student, so it's too complicated than just wanting to move. 5. He would like you to be in the same city with him, but he doesn't feel like tying his life too much to yours. Sounds like an ideal scenario for him and too much of a risk or sacrifice for you. IMO. Point 6. Sounds pretty good. I feel like he's too scared to tell me. But he constantly says he sees a future in us and would like me to fight with him for our future. 7. Don't. This situation does not benefit you in any way. He doesn't want us to move in together yet, but he wants you to move across the country for him. Uprooting your life is a huge commitment. You have to find a new place, a new job, new friends. It's a lot. Have you ever been to Texas? Compared to Florida, it's completely different. Check out this askreddit thread about Texas for info. Personally, I wouldn't give up my life for a man who wants me to leave my home state but not move in with him. And I say that as someone who moved across the country for my boyfriend and now husband when we had only dated for a year. Even though we lived together, I felt lonely at times. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I'm actually an international student, so Florida is not also my home state. I only have one younger brother here with me, but that's about it. Before I moved to Florida, I actually lived in Texas, the same city he's in now. Did your husband make any promises to you when you decided to move to a new state for him? And how old were you guys? 8. The reason this is unpleasant is because he is asking you to give 200% for the relationship while he himself is offering 0%. It's one thing if he's not ready to move in together or if he's the conservative type and wants to be married for that. But there is a lot of difference between that and you moving from Florida to Texas just to be with him, with your own money, leaving behind your brother who is the only family you have in the country. Has he offered to help you find a place? Will he help you pay for your move, including shipping your belongings? The housing bond? There are many ways to demonstrate commitment that don't involve cohabitation, but he hasn't offered any. Of course, you can always discuss these things with him and I recommend it. But this shows that he hasn't considered these things himself. It says something about his mentality that he easily asks you for a very big deal but doesn't think to offer you anything to soften your step, so to speak. If you have nothing to lose and want an adventure, you wouldn't go wrong moving to Texas. But if you have to give up a good job and an apartment and the security that foreigners don't always have the luxury of, to follow this guy who offers so little in exchange for so much, I personally would reconsider.